Performance figures, so important to manufacturers in that battle for segment supremacy, and of course a source of much bragging amongst owners around bars, boardrooms and bars. But you know, performance should not be about paper. It should not be a case of top trumps. It has to be tested in the real world, and that is exactly what Jaguar have done with the launch of their F Pace SVR. They've given it to us to race up the hill at the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb. Well, it doesn't get more real than this. On the start line of the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb, this is the ultimate way to test the performance of this super SUV. Well, let's see what she's got. Oh, she has got insane amount of shove off the line. It's now running with a 5-litre V8 supercharged engine. There is 405 kilowatts going up here. I've got 680 Newton meters of torque to play with. These are impressive figures. This is the engine that you find in the F-Type SVR, obviously slightly detuned. What they've done is, thank goodness, they've uprated the braking system, and I'm so happy that I'm running with an all-wheel drive system because it is wet and it is tricky here on the hill, but so confidence inspiring. Obviously, they've also tweaked the suspension. It's been SVR rated now, and so is the stability system, so it allows you to play a little bit more, because obviously this is a performance SUV. Man, handling so well through these sweeps. Change direction, unbelievable. I've actually got to back off over this finish line because it gets so busy, because it gets there so fast. Whoa! And that, people, is 49 seconds up the Jaguar Simola Hill in the F Pace SVR. Wow. Oh, let me take a moment just to get my breath back. Listen, this is super impressive, I'll tell you. I haven't got to spend any time in this car. It's a real baptism of fire being thrown into this car on the hill and also in these tricky conditions. But what an impressive machine. What I loved, obviously running with the 8-speed auto box, so I can play with the paddles if I want to, or just leave the box to do what it needs to do as well. Even in normal mode, it is super quick in terms of anticipating what gear you want to be in. But what I really like, we're cruising back now. I'm still in dynamic mode. We're riding on a pretty bumpy road. The quality of the ride is still amazing. I've raved about this with Jaguar and all their products for so long. It's got a comfortable drive that you're happy to live with every single day. But when you want to push dynamic and have a little bit of fun, well, obviously it's got that tune setting. Obviously, I've been running in dynamic mode. I mean, we had to push for tenths up on the hill, but I can put into eco mode and find myself with a very comfortable drive. But I cannot believe that off the line. I mean, literally, I'm obviously holding it on the brake, getting the revs up, and when you drop it, I mean, the shove from that 5-litre V8 supercharged is just unbelievable. There's a long climb at the hill out of basically the first right-hand. It's a long climb to the top of the hill, and it's just relentless, that shove there. So good job on the uprated brakes. They're not carbon ceramics. Maybe it'd be a nice thing that was offered, but you know what, to be honest, 99.9% of people are never going to be throwing this thing around a racetrack, so the brakes are going to do their job just fine. But what I really love is that the setup here at the hill it's a normal road. It's not a racetrack, so it's got imperfections and bumps. And even in dynamic mode, and us pushing like this with the traction set to play mode, unbelievable. It really feels like it's pivoting and driving off the rear. Good job. Am I talking fast? Yeah, I'm talking fast. That's that's adrenaline, but that's a whole lot of fun up this hill. Impressive car. The styling tweaks are certainly not just for visual effect. Larger air intakes provide additional cooling, and in conjunction with the side fender vents, lower pressure in the wheel arches, reducing lift and also assisting with high-speed stability. The wheel arch extensions and lower body trim add to that unique SVR look. The F Pace has SVR specific lightweight forged alloys that come in 21-inch standard, or you can opt for the 22 inches. They shave off just over 4 kilograms and also designed to improve airflow to those bigger brakes. The exclusive SVR bonnet has vents to help extract air from the engine bay, and there is a unique rear spoiler as well as a new bumper housing with side vents to smooth airflow away from the rear. And then of course you have these, the quad tailpipes of their variable valve active exhaust system. It's 6.6 kilograms lighter than the standard, but importantly helps improve performance and delivers the most amazing throaty growl. How good do these look? SVR slimline performance seats with signature quilting and embossed SVR logo really do provide fantastic lateral support, and trust me, you're going to need it. The rear seats are also unique and match the front design. You get an SVR branded electronic power assisted steering wheel which adapts its setup based on the driver mode that you select, and then of course the aluminium paddle shifters. And you're not just connected to the drive. There is 4G Wi-Fi for up to 8 devices and a Touch Pro infotainment system with a 10-inch touchscreen. And as driver, you have a 12.3-inch HD instrument cluster as well as heads-up display. When Jaguar launched the F Pace a few years ago, I remember being really impressed because what they did is they stuck to their heritage. They didn't bring out an SUV that was going to try and climb cliffs, but rather a car that was going to be dynamic and comfortable in an everyday driving environment. Now along comes this, the SVR version, and it's the first Pace to be given that SVR badge. And yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around just how impressive this car was at the hill. It was the real conversation starter for so many people. It started with the soundtrack. And obviously I'm sitting in the car insulated and in a racing helmet, so I don't really get to appreciate just how good it sounded. But apparently, blasting up the mountain, sublime soundtrack. So that's always a good thing to start with. But I think the real telling feature was nobody could believe just how well this car performed. It's a massive SUV. We finished, Ashley and myself, 5th and 6th in the top performance and supercar category. Supercar category, this is an SUV. And I think that for me is so telling. And that is probably the best selling pitch that Jaguar could ever come up with. A vehicle that is comfortable, that is refined, that has a massive amount of luxury, but it's also got insane performance. And at a price tag of 1.5 million, trump that.